put down as yes or I'm audible in the question section so that I would know I'm audible and I'll start. Because otherwise, I'll just check my audio once again. Um, okay, Satyavan. Okay, so I've got a yes, I've got a confirmation. So I hope I'm audible to everyone. Thank you, Gaurav. All right. I'll just continue with the session now. So this will be a two-part session. One part would be me talking about why AWS, how you can learn the different certifications available, and the different job roles which you can get into. So once I'm done with this, I'll hand over my session to a senior course advisor who will talk more about the training and the career which you can get after you get into AWS certifications. So basically career related questions. For example, if you have any questions like I'm from I am a support engineer and I've been working as a support engineer for 8 years. Would cloud engineering role be correct for me right now? Can I take up the certification? So these kinds of questions, you can keep it with you for now. You can ask these kinds of questions once I hand over my session to my colleague. He'll be the right person to answer it. And if you have any technical questions like related to services, related to AWS services, you can directly ask me. I would be the right person to do it. Okay, so now I'll just give you guys a brief about the facts and statistics. All right. Okay. So starting off with AWS powers businesses in 190 plus countries. So why I wanted to share this is because wherever you are in the world, you will find a business which is using AWS, and if they are using AWS, in that case, you can get a job in that particular company as an AWS cloud engineer or an AWS architect or an AWS admin. All right. So this is one big factor because Amazon is already a household name, and AWS is also becoming a complete household name. And coming to next, which is AWS has more than 1 million users. So this again is a huge number. AWS is not a social media platform, it's a cloud platform. And even for a cloud platform, you got a lot of users, including individual and companies. And then it provides 170 plus cloud services right now because they keep increasing the number of services. They announce and release new services every single year. And yeah, so there are a lot of services, but the thing is, you don't have to learn all the AWS services to be a master in it. You will just have to learn the services which are related to your niche. For example, let's say you are a big data engineer. Now you want to get into cloud as well. So now we want to learn the services which are related to big data on cloud. Okay, so you can learn services like what is that? If you're talking about AWS, you can learn RDS, you can learn DynamoDB, you can learn Redshift, which is a data warehousing tool. You can learn EMR, which is Elastic MapReduce. It'll run MapReduce on a server for you without even setting up anything. So these kinds of services, if you're from big data. So I'm just giving you an example that you don't have to learn all the services. You just have to learn the services which are required for the job you're going to get into. All right. Okay. So now one more fact is that AWS is the dominant cloud provider in the public cloud market. And one more is, according to the job portals, just for the solutions architect domain, there are 7,500 plus jobs. So there are more jobs than this. This is just for the solutions architect domain under cloud. But if you just go for cloud engineer role, you can find even more job profiles and choose the right job profile according to your skill set. So again, why I wanted to share this is because AWS, as I told you, is the number one cloud provider. So one reason why they are the number one is because they had a 4-year gap before any major provider started. For example, Azure or GCP. So AWS started in 2006, Azure started in 2010, GCP started Google Cloud. It started in 2011. So they had a 4-year head start ahead of their competitors, and that's the reason they have the major stake in the public cloud market. I see a hand raised. It would be better if you, Amar, if you put in a question, I would be answering them. So you can put in a question. If you have any questions, please put in. I'll answer once I just finish up my part. And also, top companies, Fortune 500 companies use AWS. If you want to get into a company like Netflix or Salesforce, in that case, AWS would be one of the job profiles which you can get into in these major companies, and it would be a really good call if you go for it. Yeah. So one last thing under why AWS is the salary, because whatever you're going to do, whatever you are looking for, the end product is going to be getting into a job. And while you're getting into a job, obviously we look into the salary of it. We also want to be paid well. So in that case, the solutions architect domain, the average salary in US it's $122,000, and in India it's 7.3 lakhs per annum according to Glassdoor.com. But this is just the average value, guys. It's not accurate because the sample would be really small. For example, in Glassdoor, around let's say 2,000 people have entered their salaries. That's a very small sample group. So the average salary could be a little plus or minus, but that doesn't matter. If you have the right skill sets, you will get paid really well. Okay. So now steps to learn AWS. This is totally subjective to the person, but I would suggest this. So this will really be helpful. For example, first, before starting off with actually learning the cloud service, actually learning AWS, or actually learning uh, what is that, Azure or GCP, you could start with learning the fundamentals. That is, you can start with learning the cloud fundamentals and networking fundamentals. So what do I mean by fundamentals is, under cloud, you can learn the deployment models, the service models. You can learn um, how exactly cloud works, how is the model profitable, and what is virtualization, and how does it help cloud, and all these basic stuff. And coming to the next point, which is networking fundamentals. So under networking fundamentals, you can go ahead for yeah, so you can learn about protocols. For example, you can learn what is IP, how is an IP formed, what are CIDR notations. Um, what else? Yeah, you can learn about HTTP, HTTPS, SSH, what else? TCP, TCP/IP protocol, UDP protocol. So all these basic protocols and basic stuff, because it will be really helpful when you get into AWS. For example, let's say you launch a server. That server will have a public IP, a private IP, a DNS name attached to it. So after launching server, it's better to learn what they are before you wonder what exactly they are going to do. So let's say you're launching a server, it'll have a public IP address. So, and it'll also have a private IP address. So you might have the confusion of what exactly is a public and private IP, and what is a DNS name. So learning the basics before starting off with anything is really helpful. So this is what I did. So that's what I'm suggesting. But after that, learning the AWS services, it's totally dependent on the certification you're going to take up. But the integral services, the core services will still be the same. That is EC2, S3, RDS, EBS, EFS, and these kinds of services. So yeah, once done, before taking up the exam, I would suggest you to go through the exam guide and also go learn from the white papers. So AWS provides white papers. For example, white papers are basically theoretical papers which explains everything. For example, you have a white paper for AWS security, you have a white paper for AWS best practices. Yeah, so basically they provide you a more in-depth view of the concepts in AWS. So you can learn from white papers too. All right, so if you're going to learn by yourself, so this is the steps I would suggest. All right. Okay, so one more ways to learn. So this is again totally depends on you. So first you can check out blogs. Again, so obviously I'm from Intellipaat, so I'm going to just suggest Intellipaat's blogs. You can just check out our tutorials where we provide complete AWS tutorials, and you can learn directly from there, from the very basic, what's cloud and what's AWS, and we also have demos in the blogs itself. Or you can just check out our YouTube channel, Intellipaat, and over there you can look into the AWS tutorials, the AWS full courses we have for 9 hours, 10 hours, and yeah, you can go ahead with that. And finally, so this is the online training. If you want to take up, if you want to learn from a person who already has a certification in hand, if you want to learn from a person who is working as an AWS solutions architect or working as an AWS professional, in that case, you can take up an online training. And obviously, from Intellipaat, I would suggest training. And so more about that we'll discuss later. But Yeah, so what I would suggest you, whatever it is, even before taking up an online training, please try to understand the basics before getting into anything. So just check out the YouTube tutorials, learn what AWS is and learn the basics. And then if you want to take up the online training, go ahead with it. Okay, so now certifications, yeah. Okay, so certifications will depend. So I would suggest these three at first. Don't go for specialty, don't go for professional until you have one of these certifications, because how to say, it's kind of a beginner level certification. Even though they're not that easy, the beginner level certification is actually the cloud practitioner certification, but it's not a prerequisite to finish up cloud practitioner, and only then you can take up the associate certification. There is no rule like that. You can directly learn, you can directly finish up the cloud practitioner. Sorry, you don't have to finish up the cloud practitioner certification. You can choose a certification from the associate ones, solutions architect, sysops admin, or developer. All right, I'll tell who can take what certifications right now so that you will have an even better idea. Talking about solutions architect. Okay, so if you are into cloud, if you want to create architectures using cloud, if you want to create architectures which will help a company to host their application, and in that case you can go ahead with the solutions architect certification. But talking about solutions architect, in this case you should have a really good knowledge of programming language. So high level in the sense, you Java or Python or C Sharp or C++, any one high-level programming language is required for the solutions architect domain. But to clear the certification, you don't have to know. But to get into a job in the solutions architect domain, you should know a programming language. It's mandatory for any company where you're going to get into as a solutions architect. All right. Now coming to the next one, which is sysops admin. So in sysops admin, it is more of a administrator kind of a role. So it's like an IT administrator for the cloud. So in this case, you don't need programming language. So if you don't want to associate yourself with development or programming, and you just want to do IT operations, in that case, you can go ahead with the sysops administrator role. All right. And so talking about sysops, yeah, so it's more of administration and monitoring and reporting rather than creating architectures. So let's say if you're getting into a company and you are their cloud administrator or sysops administrator, in that case they would already have an established setup, established architectures and cloud servers and stuff. All right, so basically in that case you would be managing those servers, you will be monitoring the servers, you will be monitoring the various services, and you would also be generating reports accordingly. And let's say, for example, there are 10 servers running, and if one of them goes down, you should be able to troubleshoot and make sure that server is back up and running, or a new server is available, or a new server is yeah, so a new server is available to take up its place. And finally, the AWS developer certification. So this is for people who are into software development, who want to develop applications, but also want to learn cloud. So in this case, you will be developing applications and deploying it into the cloud. So you would be working on developing, but you would be creating applications which are compatible with the AWS cloud. You'll be using AWS SDKs in your code so that the application is compatible and you can host or you can deploy that application into the AWS servers or into the AWS environments. All right, so these three are the associate. So first, solutions architect, you should know programming language to get into it. So if you want to associate yourself with one language, then go ahead with it. SysOps admin, no programming languages, anybody could take it up. Developer certification, you should be a skilled software developer as well. All right. Okay, so these are the certifications which I want to discuss with you guys, so you can take these up. Okay, so now finally, yeah, so the format, I'll just introduce the format for the associate certification. So right now, because of the pandemic and because of the lockdowns, so they also have the delivery method as online. That is, testing center and online, so you can take up the certification exam right from your home. So that is even better. All right, so it's the right time to take up the AWS certification, and it's a multiple choice, multiple answer type of paper, and it costs you 150 USD, and you can take a practice exam of 20 USD. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. If you take up the certification, these are the exam details. Now, finally, this would be my last part, which would be talking about the various job roles you can get into. Yeah, so solutions architect, SysOps administrator, and cloud developer, I already told you while talking about the certification. So the other three, senior AWS cloud architect, is a role you will get once you complete or you have experience in the solutions architect or your current role. A cloud DevOps engineer. So if you would have seen the certification list, so there is a DevOps engineer one and a solutions architect professional certifications. So once you completed your associate ones, you can take these up, and that will really help you to go to the next step in your career. All right. And yeah, so and there are also jobs. For example, you want to just get started with cloud in some way. In that case, there is operational support, or there is cloud support engineers in Amazon and other companies. So you can basically get into cloud support. You'll be helping the customers, you'll be helping the clients of Amazon with their cloud architectures, and you'll be helping and troubleshooting it. So these are some various job roles which you can get into. But at the start, you will become a cloud engineer or a solutions architect, or if you have development experience, you'll become a cloud developer, or you would become a SysOps administrator. So these are the various job roles, guys, and how to get started I already introduced. Okay, I think right now I'll just answer some questions, and then I'll hand over the session to my colleague. All right. So right now there are around 3 questions. So first question is from Amar Kumar. Sir, I have completed MCA in 2017, but my scope is not technical. After 4 years. Okay. So I think this question would be better answered by my colleague. I'll just give a rough, a small idea for you. That is, you want to switch into technical like AWS DevOps. It will surely be beneficial. Obviously, if you get into a technical job, it will surely be helpful or beneficial for you. Yeah, you can still get into it. So there is no end date, or there is no anything like that. All right. So yeah. So about more about this, just please stay tuned. Once my colleague starts, he'll give you more insights about the career switch and stuff. All right. Okay. So now coming to the next question from Yashwant, can system administrator directly aim for SysOps certification? Yes, you can. A system administrator is the right person to get into SysOps certification. You are absolutely right. You can go ahead with it. And the third question is from Prasoon Mishra. So I've completed 5 out of 10 in AWS, which certification best for me. 5 out of 10 in AWS. I didn't get you. Okay, I think you were saying like you 50% know AWS, and you know what 50%. Sorry, you understand what AWS is around 50%. So you want to know which certification is best for you, and your current role is DevOps engineer. So if you are already a DevOps engineer, in that case, I would suggest the so if you have enough experience, actually, if you have around 3 to 4 years of experience in your current role, I would suggest to take up the professional certification itself, or you can first go ahead with the solutions architect or the developer certification, and then go ahead with the DevOps, AWS DevOps certification. All right. Next question is from Partha. Is it mandatory for 1 year experience? Not really. You don't need to have 1 year experience to clear the AWS solutions architect certification. If you give 2 months of your time and practice hard enough, you can easily clear the solutions architect certification. And more about that will again be talked about by my colleague. So please wait. And one last question I'm going to answer and hand over my session to my colleague. So from Nayak. So I've recently completed my graduation, but new to this course. So which course should I take in AWS? Okay, so I would suggest, if you're very new to this, I would definitely suggest solutions architect. If you're confused in what AWS certification to take, directly go ahead with solutions architect, because that's the best in between for sysops or developer. All right, yeah. And is there any age restriction to from Matthew? No, there is no age restrictions. Absolutely, there is no age restrictions. Anybody could learn at any time and get into IT. Um, from Satish, you're from telecom, and you want to switch into AWS DevOps. All right, I'm not sure about this. I'll just leave this question because I don't want to give any wrong information. My colleague will be giving you more info about this. Siddha Reddy, right now working as a major incident management and know 60% Linux, want to switch to DevOps. Which course should I take? So course in the sense from Intellipaat. So in that case, please wait. That again will be covered by the senior course advisor. From Shubham, which is better, sysops or DevOps? For a sysops or DevOps guy, solutions architect, sysops or DevOps. I would suggest solutions architect for sure. But if you want to take up the professional certification, then obviously DevOps engineer. But if you want to take up an associate certification, I would suggest the solutions architect one. And one last question from Anwar: is it really mandatory to have a programming language knowledge? So to get into the solutions architect certification, to learn and clear it, you don't need a programming language actually. But to get into a job, you would need a programming language, because when you're becoming a solutions architect, okay, sure, just give me 1 second, I'll answer it again. So if you're becoming a solutions architect, in that case, what is that? So you would be working with creating architecture so that your team could deploy their applications into the AWS infrastructure. So in that case, you should have an idea of how the applications work and how exactly the programming, the code works. All right. So in that case, obviously it is necessary. And Shubham, to re-answer your question, if you already have experience in your current field, that is sysops, sysadmin, or DevOps, go ahead with the DevOps engineer professional certification. If not, if you want to take up an associate certification, directly go ahead with the solutions architect certification. So this was my answer. So I think I've pretty much covered everything, guys. So thank you so much. Right now, I'll be handing over my session to my colleague. Please stay tuned. He'll be answering and talking more about the training and the career transitions.
Hi guys, this is Charles from Intellipaat. I am a senior course advisor and a career counselor. Well, I'm going to show you where you can access the complete information or the details about the program itself. And of course, I'll be answering every question that you have with regards to the program itself. So here we are on the Intellipaat homepage. All I'm doing is typing in AWS, the search bar, and straight away let's go to the Solutions Architect training page. Now, first thing that we notice is this is in collaboration with Future Skills, and you get a free Linux course. Why free Linux course is because 95% of the cloud servers that are non-Linux. So having a basic understanding of Linux is definitely an added advantage. So that is the reason you see Linux self-page given to you for free. Now, moving further, this is a live instructor-led training, guys. So we are the only company to offer you even the live instructor-led training, lifetime access. There is no expiration. You can attend as many classes, retake as many batches. Nobody's going to stop you or question you. So any questions you have, it's totally interactive. Ask the instructor before the end of the session. He's definitely going to answer any questions you might have. So here we see the AWS course content. Module number 1, what is cloud computing? So whether you are already in IT or non-IT doesn't matter. You'll be literally learning from the very basic what is cloud computing, from basic to advanced step by step. And if you notice, each and every module has hands-on exercises, guys. So this is purely a practical learning, not any sort of theoretical or boring lectures. So every module is purely a practical learning platform. And AWS projects covered. Now, this is very, very important. For one to become proficient with the technology itself, for one to crack the interviews during the technical round, this is mandatory. Because you see, every company wants a person who has experience. So that doesn't mean they're looking for a person who has experience 2-3 years from Accenture or Microsoft or IBM, to give an example. They're talking about 2 years worth of hands-on experience. So these are the real-time industry projects which is going to help you become proficient or help you get a job or to gain that hands-on experience. So we are going to provide you the necessary lab environment for you to learn, play, and practice. We also provide you lifetime technical support assistance whenever you're stuck or if you have any concerns. You can reach out to our technical team who works on the clock. Now, this is a course completion certificate which will be issued by Intellipaat acknowledged by Future Skills. And the course itself is aligned to clear the official exam, which is AWS Solutions Architect exam. So once you complete the program and projects, you'll be in a position to clear the examination also in just one go. We also provide you a mock quiz. Just take our mock quiz, score 60%. That means you can easily clear the certification exam in just one attempt. It's that simple. So we prepare you for certification exam also. So moving further, we provide you job assistance. Well, job assistance works in three steps. Step one is we are going to rework on your resume. Step two is we are going to prepare you for the interview with a list of mock question and answers. And the final step is we have our own job portal, guys. Apart from you marketing your resume to LinkedIn or in Indeed or Times, whatever the job portals out there in the market, you can also utilize our portal, okay, to market your resume. So your possibilities of lining up interviews literally increases. So this is the job assistance that we provide to you. So any questions with regards to the program, feel free to drop your message. I'll be more than happy to answer. So if you're in India, the schedule is as per the website. So you can choose either the weekday batch or you can either choose a weekend batch. So weekday batch, you see Tuesday to Friday, 7 in the morning to 9 in the morning. Weekend is Saturday and Sunday, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. But if you are in the US or Northern America, I am going to let you know the timings here. So so by the way, this is my WhatsApp number, guys. You can directly WhatsApp me for any discounts or to talk to an advisor before you make a decision. I've been working as an advisor for 13 years. So this is my US WhatsApp number. This is my Indian WhatsApp number, or you can drop me an email. So if you're in the US, the weekday batch is Monday to Thursday, 4 days a week, 9:30 p.m. in the Eastern Standard Time to 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the weekend batch will be Saturday and Sunday. The timings will be 10:30 in the morning Eastern Standard Time to 1:30 in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time. So this is your schedule, guys. And AWS per program, you get a flat 30% discount. So who I just have two coupons purely on a first come first serve basis. To avail the coupon or to have one-on-one with me, kindly WhatsApp me. So let's see if we have any questions here, and also which language is which I need to learn for the AWS architecture. There is no requirement of programming language to learn AWS Solutions Architect or Azure Administrator, guys. So it's just the Linux because it is operating system. 95% of the cloud servers run on Linux. So that is the only requirement which we provided you for free. So will I be able to clear AWS SysOps certification after I complete AWS Solution Architect? No. So your question itself has an answer in it. So AWS Solutions Architect is totally different from AWS SysOps. So we have AWS SysOps, you'll have to go through that. So let me show you this program. If you are from programming background and you're focusing mainly into AWS, this is a program you should go for. This has everything that AWS has to offer. This is in collaboration with IBM. This has AWS Developer, AWS SysOps, AWS Solutions Architect, AWS Cloud Migration, DevOps, and AWS DevOps. So these are the 6 courses with live instructor lifetime access. Azure Fundamentals, Linux, and SQL. These are self-paced. The only difference is the courses are more, and the hands-on experiences on projects will be more, and the duration. This is 5 months comprehensive program. Each program is going to take a month. The rest, everything is the same apart from the cost as well. So if you're going for this program, I will tell you who is the best suitable for this particular program. So I just have one coupon for AWS Master Program, purely on a first come first serve basis for 50% flat discount. Well, your job portal is available for those who don't complete the course from Intellipaat. Our job portal is provided only to our existing customers. So once you become an existing customer, you can get access to that. So there is one more program I want to introduce you guys to, which is Cloud Architect Certification Master Program. Now this is very, very hot in the market. A multi-cloud program is one of the highest paid jobs out there in the market. So are we going to talk about E&ICT Roorkee program? Yes, that is the last program I'm going to discuss. Now, this is a multi-cloud program. Now, more than 95% of the companies purely works on projects. So whether you work currently for a company, tomorrow if the project requirements move to Azure, so at that point in time, the company is not going to, recruit a new team or a new team leader or a program manager. They expect their current employees only to upgrade their skill set. This is the reality. Or when you are looking for a job, if you are proficient with a multi-cloud, you can definitely get into very good package as well as very good company. So this is top three cloud in the market: AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud. Along with it, it has DevOps and Python. These are the five programs with live instructor. This is in collaboration with IBM and Microsoft. The self-paced will be Java, Linux, Splunk, Hadoop, Agile, and Azure architecture. Again, the only difference is more number of courses, more skill sets to learn, and more hands-on experiences on projects, beginner, intermediate, and advanced. You get two course completion certificates, one from IBM, the other is from Microsoft Partner. So the cost again is more because the duration in the programs are more. Even this particular program I have 50% discount. I just have one coupon, which is purely on a first come first served basis, only to the customers who are attending the webinar today, or for the people who are attending the webinar today. So I have a question here because I've heard that you must need programming language like Java or C# to get into job AWS and Linux. Well, it depends. If you are looking to get into cloud, you should know a programming language, either Java or Python or C Sharp. To clear the certification, that is not required. So that is the reason you see we have Java here in Southpace. With live instructor, we have Python. So remember, even though you're not a developer, you should know a programming language, you should know DevOps, you should know cloud. So that is the reason this is the best program I would recommend to anyone. Now, any other questions? Is Linux programming knowledge not enough? No, that is not sufficient. You can just Google any job description. They'll be asking for certain DevOps tools. They'll be asking for certain Python. They'll be asking for cloud, either AWS or Azure, or at times AWS and Azure both, and certain SQL skills. So that is the reason, guys, you'll not be wasting a lot of time doing one course at a time and again come back, invest more money, more time. So go for the package itself, because this is ideally is what going to help you fulfill your objective and land a career. So is it mandatory to complete AWS Associate like SysOps and developer certification to become DevOps professional? No, it is not mandatory. So to become a DevOps engineer, you should complete DevOps, AWS, and AWS DevOps. That is sufficient for you to become a DevOps engineer. And along with that, you should know programming language like either Python. So ideally, this program is designed for you to become even the cloud engineer and DevOps engineer. If you want to become DevOps engineer, you'll be focusing more on Java and Python. And in the projects, you'll be practicing more hands-on with regards to the developer part of it. So this particular projects have both administrator and developers projects. So you'll be practicing more hands-on for a developer engineer. So the last program that I want to discuss with you is Advanced Certification in Cloud Computing and DevOps. So this is in collaboration with IIT Roorkee, EICT, and IIT Roorkee. So out of 150 programs, Intellipaat offers only 5-6 programs we guarantee you the interview. Yes, you heard me right. So this is 100% job interview guaranteed program, but this is a commitment program. The reason being 40% of the content is covered by IT professors themselves, making sure your fundamentals are strong. The remaining 60% of the content is covered by industry experts who works for top tier MNCs or already cloud architects with 15, 20 years of experience in IT. So this is a course completion certificate which will be issued by EICT IIT Roorkee, Advanced Certification Program in Cloud Computing and DevOps. It is also acknowledged by IIT Roorkee, like you see. So 7 months is the duration of the program. This does not come with lifetime access. It's a dedicated program. Once you complete the program, you can be qualified to work as a cloud architect, DevOps architect, senior DevOps engineer, cloud DevOps engineer, cloud engineer, AWS DevOps. So these are all the tools that realistically a market is looking for or is required for one to land a career. Python, Linux, DevOps tools, AWS Cloud, Azure Admin, OpenStack, Cloud Security, Distributed Computing, Parallel Computing, Azure Design Architect Technologies, Virtualization, Load Balancing, Flaunt Tolerance, and AWS DevOps. So I would highly recommend if you can go for this. If you're very, very serious, or if you're literally looking to land a career, so this is the best program, because we are scheduling an interview for you, whichever city you're based out of. Your only job is to be attentive in the class and make sure that you have maximum attendance as possible. Make sure that you complete the assignments given by the instructor, because assignments will be evaluated. Only then you get to know what are the areas you're lacking, what are the areas you need to improve. Based on that is when we are going to motivate you to practice more hands-on in the intermediate and advanced stage. So we provide you with every lab access that is required for one to play, work, and practice. We also provide you a dedicated manager also along with technical support. So you see, we have mentioned on writing on website itself the guaranteed interview. Minimum 3, maximum 5 interviews will be scheduled, whichever city you're based out of. So your only task is to clear the interview. And that is also going to be not at all a difficult task because after 7 months of program, 8th month, we are literally focusing on preparing you for the interview, with one-on-one mock interview sessions. You're going to build your LinkedIn profile as well as your resume. 9th month, you can easily crack the interview. Out of 5 interviews, in the worst case scenario, anybody can clear at least 3 interviews any given time. So the induction is going to start from this weekend. The regular classes will be 26th of September. So to be honest, we closed down the registrations in the first 2 weeks itself when the program got introduced. The reason why, because the cost itself is very, very cheap. If you see, we have one more program. It is literally the same. There is hardly any difference, which is the IIT Guwahati. Let me show that to you. Yeah, here you go. So this is also a job interview guarantee program. This is IIT Guwahati. Everything is literally the same. See, this is the cost. Then why is this at this particular price? Because of the government subsidy only for the first batch, you're getting at 75,000 plus GST. And because of the cost being so cheap and attractive, we closed down the registrations in the first 2 weeks. But fortunately for you guys, couple of people from the US, they want to postpone their batch to November or October because they're busy in a project. So we have last 2 slots, which we work purely on a first come first served basis. Instead of 75,000 plus GST, I can extend it to you at 75K, including GST as a final price. So if you are really interested, ping me on my WhatsApp or drop me an email. Let's discuss more about your career. Let me guide you to the right program and you can make the right decision. So my only point is this is a very dedicated program. If you're really serious about landing a career, an expected hike is easily 30 to 50%. I don't know if it's 30, I don't know if it's 50, that depends upon you, how well you perform in the interview. But the expected hike, no matter whatever you're making right now, you can expect 30% hike from your past package. So that's it for today's presentation, guys. So I hope today's webinar and presentation was informative and useful. So you know how to reach out to me on either of my WhatsApp numbers or email. So I'll be looking forward to discuss with you and also help you save your money, guys. So I wish each and everyone a great evening and great day ahead if you're in the US. Thank you so much for your time. Cheers. Bye-bye.